one. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with episode number 5, officially past the 1 month mark, with episode 5 of the Optimal Nutrition Podcast, everywhere you can get healthy, reliable, and factual information from your boys, Luke Deerog and Carter Runge. We are back again with another banger episode. Carter,
what up?
how are you doing today?
Going good. School's going good, passing all the exams, so that's all we got.
You know, we always have to start the episode with a crack of a diet soda. It's blurring it out for some reason now, but if you can kind of see, it's a Clear American.
American. I'm going to look that up on my Walmart.
Yeah, Clear American, best drink. It's like $4.50 for a 12-pack. It's because Walmart owns it. Really good flavor. It doesn't taste like sparkling water where it's like super diluted flavor. It's really strong flavor. It's basically the sparkling ice.
Oh, that's where I was going wrong in my search. I was searching soda.
Oh,
it's a sparkling water.
Yeah, it's like a sparkling water. So it's not like it's like in the soda aisle, but it's not like, so if like soda was on this side, it's not on that side. It's on like the opposite side of it. So like, and it's on the bottom shelf and the top shelf too. Like I remember I found like the case of the cherry limeade, like they didn't have it on the bottom. They had it on like where they have like too much on the top with like all the extra products that are like random. Like it was up there. I'm like, oh, I grab that instead because it was either like that one of the pineapple coconut, which I haven't had yet, but I don't want to buy a 12-pack of it. I'd probably just buy the big like 30-ounce bottle that they have for literally like 90 cents. I think it is.
Just like the 2-liter bottle.
Well, it's not even a 2-liter. I think it's a 1 liter. I think it's a liter, or it's like a little bit less than a liter. And it's only like 70 cents. And they have like a Skittles version. It's like red, white, and like blue, like cool. Candy it's called or whatever. But
definitely gonna check that out tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like no sodium too. So I mean, like people that need to worry about that can. And it's like all potassium.
Some golden kiwis.
Yeah, I know.
That are way too expensive.
Especially if you buy the organic ones, which I stand by are taste way better
than
the conventional one.
100% better.
But we got a big episode for you guys. We want to say thank you guys for all the support. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video to everyone you want to know, everyone you want to have healthy lives and have factual information and good information. Share this over to them. They don't have to watch the entire thing. You can watch it in snippets, you know. We're not meant to be watched in one sitting if you don't want to, you know. You can watch this in many parts.
Literally just coming here to rant and
just choose wisely. Choose wisely. But we got a good episode for you guys today. We're going to be running down, like I said last week, we went through the vitamins, and now we're going through some minerals on the most health aspect ones that people really need to focus on. And then after that, we'll be going over, which I shared, I believe, was around this time last year. I shared on my Instagram was my optimal start of day and then supplement guide routine.
I think so.
I don't remember. I don't know. It doesn't say like who had access to it or who actually clicked it. So I have no clue who actually went on that, but I know you did. But I have no clue if anyone else actually chose to engage with it at all. So we will be bringing that back again. I've made a few adjustments to it ever since I've done it. It's always been live updating. I'll be adding to it as much as possible. And if there's anything I do miss on there, I will definitely just add it in as I talk, you know, because I haven't updated it in a little bit. It's probably been like a month since I've updated it, and I probably have a few things that I've changed my stance on or added things to my plan. So that will be the plan after that, after the vitamins or after the minerals, we'll be doing that. And then for a little fun with everyone here, to bring on the film aspect, we'll be going over my Letterboxd profile. And that's just where I track all my movies and where I do all the movie fun. And I'll be giving some horror recommendations since it is October. It is spooky month. So we'll be going over some horror recommendations there and some of my favorites. And like I said, like the video, subscribe, and share to everyone you know. And let's get into all the fun information we have in store for you guys. So
mineral time.
You got our minerals here. And with minerals, I love always saying that it is something that people don't think about too often, but then it's times where people overcomplicate it. You like, oh, get that. Like I remember, like I sent you that thing with Gary Scammer Brecka offering his like $50 minerals droplets, and I was that, like and it's literally trace minerals, and hence the word trace, meaning it's in small amounts. Like minerals are meant to be in smaller amounts, and vitamins are meant in bigger amounts and macro amounts. So if it's like Gary Brecka said, they use $50 mineral thing, like you're literally just paying for
Yeah,
some
or
like
something
minerals.
like.
It's kind of it is a scam. I think anything Gary Brecka sells is a scam, or anything he says is a scam, and it's just meant to sell more of his products. So don't listen to Gary Brecka, but on to minerals
Unfortunate.
with our first one being probably one that is very under. I don't want to say it's not underdosed, but very under eaten in our dietary patterns as Americans. I believe I know what the percentage of people that don't meet their RDA of calcium, but it is one of along with another one on this list that people do not do not eat. I know our dietary guidelines for potassium, at least, are ones that we need to get up in our daily dietary needs. So, but starting off with calcium, as everyone knows, it gets your bones big and strong, and it's going to help protect against osteoporosis, which is bone wasting because bones become brittle and they become easy to break. So we're going to want to obviously not have that, and some of that is genetics, but a lot of it comes
Mm-hmm.
from your calcium intake. And fun thing about bone regeneration and bone thing, it's like once you lose bone, it's hard to like get that back. So as you age,
Oh.
like once you're losing your bone support, it's going to be hard to get that back to what it was before. So make sure you're lifting weights is one thing that helps bone function and
Yeah.
bone support, but also getting adequate calcium. Another thing too is your teeth are teeth support. That's huge with calcium. Think of it as bones. Like you need proper calcium. Also, like I said, with your teeth is vitamin C, or your teeth will fall out, your gums will degrade. So those kind of go hand in hand. But also, calcium helps with muscle contractions, like you see with the science-based stuff, like the calcium ion channels being open during contractions. So, like calcium ion channels are quote unquote bad. Like you don't want those open all the time for lifting. But calcium helps with muscle contractions, and it helps with muscle function and muscle support, and also a little bit of hormone support as well. So some good sources are your whey protein. Whey protein actually is a dairy product, so it is a whole food. People don't say it's a whole food, but it's a whole food, and it does have a decent amount of calcium in it. So I'd say like an average one will have about 300 milligrams of calcium in. You probably want to get about 1,000 milligrams a day, 900 milligrams a day, I believe it is. So another
Yeah.
one, any cheese, like I said, any dairy products, so like milk, cheese. It doesn't have to be raw cheese. I just put that on there because I looked up just cheese and it was the first thing that popped up. Or Greek yogurt or any sort of yogurt will have lots of calcium in it. So those are all great options to choose from. Basically, like I say, choose which one fits best within your dietary program, whether that
Mm-hmm.
is something that you need a little more fat in, maybe cheese or 1-2 whole % milk. Or if it's something like, hey, you're on a dieting phase and you're not really having
Or the
cheese and stuff
stick.
like that. So you have more whey protein, or you have like Greek yogurt and stuff like that. So flexible dieting and finding what you need and how to support your overall dietary plan.
What about this side of butter?
The side of butter, I mean, like that is very good. I always recommend eating a stick of butter by itself every single meal.
Especially, I took a just a side break and to look at that. It says about 40% of the population actually doesn't meet their calcium intake.
All right, so
So I don't
I was thinking
I
it
don't
was
know.
55%, so I was somewhat close there, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's just the internet. So
Yeah, and I'm
I don't
pretty sure
know.
the other one that I am going to be thinking of, I think it's around 70% but I'll get to that later. So then going on to our
Gotcha.
next one is copper, and copper is an
Ooh.
interesting one because copper plays or it plays synonymously with zinc, which we'll talk about later. I think that's the last one. But people always will supplement zinc, but then they don't take an effect of the zinc to copper ratio, which I believe is about 10 to 1, 10
I guess
milligrams for
I can be the
zinc.
lookup guy.
I think it's 10 milligrams of zinc for every 1 milligram of copper, or it's like 10 to 12 milligrams of zinc for every 1 milligram of copper, I believe it is. But
Uh, 8 to 15 milligrams of zinc to 1 milligram of
okay, so
copper.
I was basically there. And then also too,
Man, this guy knows his
if your
stuff.
zinc, if you have too much zinc, either i.e. supplementation or dietary zinc, that depletes your copper stores, and vice versa. So if you have too much copper, it's going to deplete your zinc stores, and it's hard to get too much copper, I should say. But that's why I always say copper and zinc are closely related. So pay attention to that. Excuse me. But copper is huge in red blood cell production, as well as autoimmune health, and quick brain function and energy. Pretty simple there, but the most important is probably the red blood cell production, making sure your red blood cell count is high and making sure that you're having healthy red blood cells and you're producing at maximum capacity. And then some sources, like I've always said in the vitamins, a lot of these overlap. So a lot of these have multiple different vitamins and minerals that they are high in, like mushrooms we've talked about extensively, I believe. And mushrooms are
Yeah.
high in copper, as well as sweet potatoes. And then dark chocolate as well is pretty high in copper. And I believe dark chocolate has antioxidant properties. And then people do not know this. There is a compound in dark chocolate, especially, or in chocolate, that is called theobromine, and that is actually a stimulant. So people actually have theobromine in pre-workouts and stuff like that. So
Oh.
if you're someone that's very sensitive to stimulants or caffeine, and maybe you want to stick away from having dark chocolate later in the day, I don't know if it's going to cause a crazy amount, but hey, you never know.
Good. Yeah.
And then going on the iron, we have
Ooh.
non-heme and heme iron. So heme's going to be more the more bioavailable source, and that's going to be coming from our animal products. But that's not to say non-heme isn't essential for our diet, because it can be converted pretty well. So iron, it is for red blood cell production and oxygen transport. So you always think of hemoglobin, stuff like that. So oxygen, that's going to help carry oxygen and stuff like that. So oxygen transport, iron is key in. And then energy production and cognitive support. I said both of those at the same time because fainting, people that are low in iron have trouble with energy, the staying awake, staying
Oh.
ready, and stuff like that. So you might see people that are low in iron have trouble like fainting and stuff like that. They might pass out. That is a problem that people might have with iron deficiency. And if it could be iron, it could be an iron deficiency anemia, to where it's a dietary issue or genetic issue maybe, but that is something I feel like pertains more for women with having iron deficiency anemia, but not so much men, because I feel like men probably eat more red meat than women do. But yeah, and then also muscle support, like I said, energy production, it's gonna help with the muscle support as well. And then I said any red meats can have iron in it, but then also plant sources are oats and beans are some of the most popular ones. And then going on to magnesium, this one is very, 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 very difficult to get your RDA for the entire day through a dietary pattern. I know you need 400. I know you need 400 milligrams a day, but I'm pretty sure people, even I don't even reach 400 milligrams a day. That's why, like, if you want 400 milligrams a day dietary wise, but like even if I get 300 or even 400 milligrams in a day through my diet, I still supplement at the end of the night because it helps with sleep a lot. So, but here we go. Muscle function, bone health, those two are synonymous with each other. They help a ton with that. Nerve function as well, regulates your blood sugar. And then I put this also in there. It is involved with over 300 enzymatic processes in your body. So magnesium is one of the most important minerals on this list, and yet is the most neglected one in our diet because it is so hard to get through our diet. You need high levels of brown rice in your diet. You need pumpkin seeds, and pumpkin seeds aren't something that people just eat. I had to get that one on there too. And then tuna does also have magnesium, but again, you need lots of these to reach the RDA. So it is something I always recommend supplementing with, and I will go over that later when we go through my optimal start of the day and supplement list. Go. It shows that you're blacked out. Yeah. And then going on the manganese, manganese is something that is kind of, I don't know, like people don't really know a lot about manganese. I feel like they don't really think of it at all. They just think of magnesium when they see this word, and it's not magnesium. It's something a lot different. But manganese is an antioxidant. Technically, it has antioxidant activity, meaning it is uh, antioxidative in the body, and it helps regulate your blood sugar as well as joint function, and it also helps with nutrient absorption. So meaning that you're actually absorbing the nutrients you put in your body and you're not letting them pass through. And then berries are a huge source of manganese. Blackberries especially are very, very high in it, as well as strawberries. And then sweet potatoes are a repeat offender on this list a ton, as long as with the berries as well. But you can get a pretty good amount of manganese in your diet if you just have a lot of fruit. And then going on to two of these, selenium and phosphorus are both have the same exact sources. Phosphorus and selenium both are chicken, pork, tuna, and eggs are just really high. So just think animal products for these two. But starting off with phosphorus, helps with digestion support, helps with bone formation, nerve signaling in your body as well. And then it also can play a key role in hormone function. And going on to selenium, it is a big immune health marker as well as an anti-inflammatory, and it is great for your heart health and brain function and cognitive support. And like I said, animal products, those two are synonymous with each other. And selenium is actually very key for T4 to T3 conversion, and those are your thyroid, the thyroid in your body, T4 and T3, thyroxine and I don't know, it's like try something. But T4 is your inactive form, and it will be mostly so like 80% if 80% of the thyroid hormone in your body is T4, and it gets converted, and then 20% is only T3. But then in the tissues in your body, T4 will convert with the help of selenium to T3, which is the active form of your thyroid. So kind of interesting. And then I didn't realize we lost Carter there. But continuing on.
And
That's
my
all right.
camera is not working. So I will be without.
And that's all right. That is all right. As long as you're here.
Yeah.
But going on to potassium here. Potassium is a huge one. It is going to help regulate your fluid and electrolyte balance. Potassium is something that if you have high amounts in, you're going to be excreting more water because potassium is higher outside of the cell than inside of the cell. So it also helps regulate blood pressure, I said. And then also put potassium should be low in your diet if you're on any blood pressure medication like telmisartan, because telmisartan will make you hyperkalemic, meaning that you're going to retain more potassium in your body than excrete it. So that is something you want to make sure, because I believe I forgot what it blocks exactly, but it blocks the activity to allow yourself to excrete more potassium, because it helps regulate your blood pressure, meaning that it's going to keep it low. So if you have too much of that, it could really, really cause some problems. And then also potassium muscle function. Like I said, it's an electrolyte. It's going to help your muscles perform. And then I didn't put sodium on here because sodium is just fluid and electrolyte balance and muscle contractions as well, and then blood flow and stuff like that. But sodium is so highly consumed in the standard American diet that it doesn't. In salt is the form of sodium. So I mean, like, people already consume high amounts of it. I think people know a lot about it. There's no need to really put it on here, because I'm gonna be like, make sure you get I'm not gonna put ultra processed foods as a good source of sodium. Like, ultra processed foods are just high in sodium. Like, that's why people demonize it. Like, people demonize seed oils because seed oils are in high ultra processed foods, these fast foods. I'm like, is it the seed oils that are causing it, or is it the high amount of calorie, high amounts of fat, and the ultra or the hyper palatability of these foods? Like,
yeah,
just because it's in there doesn't mean it's the causing of obesity. And then going on to our last one here, which is zinc. And zinc is especially for men, great for hormone support and function. And it also helps with your skin health, and i.e. would also help in wound healing as well. Also your immune health. If you see people are sick, they might start, they might start supplementing zinc. That's something I'd recommend as well if you're sick or you feel sick coming on. And then also with brain function as well. And then thinking with zinc, you want to be thinking animal sources. So any sort of red meat, any sort of chicken, I believe tuna might have a little bit, and then also eggs as well. So those are all fantastic sources of zinc. And if I was to recommend And also too, forgot potassium is the one that people do not have enough in their diet. I forgot how many people do not reach their RDA that they need, and potassium is one thing I feel like you need exactly. Also, I forgot to give out examples for potassium. Kiwis are high in potassium. Avocados are high in potassium. Coconut water is high in potassium,
Jeez.
and then potatoes are very, very high in potassium. So those are all
AI
fantastic
says
sources.
98% of Americans
That actually does make sense. Yeah,
do
I'm pretty
not
sure it
meet.
was because I remember on the healthy eating index is what helps create the dietary guidelines, and that was one of their markers
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't
for
know if the
2025.
AI is true, but yeah, that's
No,
a.
I'm pretty sure that's right. I was thinking like 70% before, but I'm like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually more. For I was thinking like 90% even after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So if I was to
Eat your
say,
golden kiwis.
yeah, if I was to say
Plug.
if there's three things on here that I think you should really, 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 I don't. I'll go even with vitamins too. Here are five of them that I think you should really focus on, and
Yeah,
or
that
I'll
would be
go
good.
three and three. So the three vitamins I think you should focus on. One is vitamin B1. I feel like people don't need that, and it is great for energy metabolism. If you're low on vitamin B1, you're not going to be converting your carbohydrates into enough energy that you need. So vitamin B1 is one that I think is highly, highly underrated. Next two is folate. I feel like people do not eat enough vegetables and stuff like that. They're not getting enough folate in their diet, and that is huge for emotional health and digestional health, and just also good for your digestion. I feel like, and it's just good to have your vegetables, man. You're getting other micronutrients and nutrients in there. Um, Another one too, as well, I'd say is probably vitamin A because people just don't have. I mean, liver is not a thing, but people don't eat sweet potatoes. They don't eat carrots and stuff like that. Vitamin A is one that is really under eaten in our diet. And then also for minerals, like I said, calcium is one that I feel people definitely need. And then magnesium, like I said, but it's hard to get through your diet. So I'd say supplementation. And then potassium, of course, because like I said, or like it said, AI said, 98% of Americans do not need it. So potassium is one that I believe is probably the most important. And then I'll stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, I do not know why my
Oops, I didn't mean
camera
to
is
pin
not
you.
working.
Have you tried? Does it not even allow you to like open it up?
No, it says we can't use your camera. Please close other apps that are using it, and there's zero other apps using it.
It do you have a MacBook?
No, I got
Oh, okay.
HP.
I was
I
saying if it's
might
a MacBook,
restart
maybe.
my computer real quick
Okay.
and see if that works. I'll be right back.
All right.
I
And
think
while
I
he's
can.
doing that, we'll pause.
Boom.
After that 1 second delay that you guys, the viewers, had, we're going on to what I believe is probably, I don't know how much time I spent on this, to be honest with you, but when I was last year, but we'll be going over my optimal start of day routine as well as a supplement
Ooh,
listed
I am.
guide with all links in there. And I could put the link to this in the bottom of the description for everyone. So they'll all have access to it. Anyone with the link can have access to this. There's hyperlinks in here for all the supplements to make sure you have the right supplement, you have the right brand, and you will have trusted brands too. So everything on here is backed by me and everything I agree with. Basically, if there's something I don't agree with that I have on here, I just quick make an edit to it or say what it is. Because I haven't looked over this within the last month, so there might be something I change my stance on. But starting off with our optimal day routine, here are a few people, like I say right off the bat, that I have followed, I've learned from. Some of them, you don't have to follow these people. You don't have to like even know who they are. It's just I want to give credit to some people that I've learned from, and a few people like Dr.
I'm
Alan
following these
Bacon,
guys.
Dr. Matthew Negra, Dr. Adrian Chavez, Dr. Ids. They're all registered dietitian, or at least I don't know if Dr. Alan Bacon is, but I know the bottom three are for sure all registered dietitians. So a lot of these people, also Alan Aragon is. So all these people are very good sources of information involving nutrition, involving physiology, involving training. So all these really good. Lyle McDonald, I've bought 6 books from, and I've currently read his applying nutrition to mixed sports and also for athletes and working with athletes. And then I'm also in the about almost a quarter of the way through his Ultimate Ketogenic Diet book, or the
Ooh.
Ketogenic Diet. It is like the be all end all book, he says, of ketogenic dieting. So I am about a quarter way through that, and then also plan on reading his women's book as well. So that'll be something pretty interesting. So you don't have to follow any of these people, but I highly recommend following them because they give out great information. And to start off, the ultimate start of day. So the perfect start of the day actually starts the night before with a good amount of sleep. So I always recommend getting 7 to 10 hours of sleep. And that is not just being in bed for 7 to 10 hours. That doesn't mean like, okay, I got into bed at 10 o'clock and I sit on my phone for an hour 15, and then I fall asleep at 11:30 maybe, and then I wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Like, yeah, that is 7 hours of sleep, but you might think you were in bed or in sleep longer, but you actually weren't. Like, so I always recommend getting 7 to 10 hours of actual sleep in the sleeping stage because you'll recover better, you'll feel better throughout the day, and you won't feel so tired. So I always recommend getting 7 to 10 hours of sleep. I don't recommend 10 hours really too much, but some people might need 10 hours. So I always just say 10 hours. It's not going to kill you too much. I think 11 hours would be too much. But
Yeah.
7 to 9 is usually the sweet spot. I never go below 7. I never go really above 8. Usually in that sweet spot mark. I mean, I do go above 8 sometimes. Obviously, it might be like 8.5. But anything above 9 for me, I feel like I get a little too drowsy. So find what works best for you. That's all I got to say. And then number 2 is this is the most optimal start of the day. But what I mean by this is if you want to be the most quote unquote optimal, like optimized and like set routine, this is something I feel like you should obviously do. And let's just say you're in a fat loss stage or you just are conscious about your weight. The best time to weigh yourself is to use the bathroom first and then weigh yourself maybe a minute or two after. Excuse me. Because food and water fluctuates your weight throughout the day. So it'd be pointless. Like if you were to like go after the gym and like they have like a scale there and you weigh yourself, it's like, what the heck? And you're so confused because like you weigh way more and stuff like that. It's like, that is like one of the dumbest things ever. Like it's when people do stuff like that. It's like, you need to have an accurate measurement. You weighing yourself at the end of the day is not accurate because whatever you eat one day will not be the same the next day, and that'll have a different effect. The food you eat differently on one day versus the other will have a different effect on your weight at the end of the day. Sodium, potassium levels, how much water you drink that day, how many carbohydrates you have that day, how much fat you had in the day. So all that. So all that has an impact on your weight. So it'd be pointless to like skew the data and weigh yourself at the end of the day every single day. So I always say use the bathroom, whether it has to be peeing, no matter what. It doesn't have to be poop, but like peeing for sure. And then whenever I do that, I always use the bathroom, and then I just like wait a minute or two. You know what I mean? I don't want to use the bathroom right away. It's just like calm. I almost like a calm yourself down because like you want to be in this such like fight or flight mode and stuff like that. And I'll kind of go into step number 3, and that will be try not to look at your phone for the first 10 minutes at least, up to 60 minutes after waking. You don't want to be in that super big fight or flight mode, which blue light affects that. And what that does is it will affect your brain waves to be more susceptible earlier in the day. So all that like potential bad news or potential outcomes in the day later will affect you mentally more since you're in that fight or flight state more, and it can affect your mood and stuff like that. So blue light is something you'd probably want to avoid within the first 10 minutes of the day. So put your damn phone away. Don't look at your phone. I mean, you can look and see if there's any like emergency messages, like notifications. But I always say like, whenever I do that, I always turn off my alarms, and then I don't look at my phone for 15 minutes. I'll do other things first. I'll probably tell you when I go on my phone there as we go down this list, but try not to look at your phone the first 10 minutes. That is something that has changed my life drastically, I feel like. And then while I'm not looking at my phone, after I'm done weighing myself and stuff like that, I'll have about 30 to 40 ounces of water with an electrolyte supplement. And with the electrolyte supplement, I'll be talking about those more below. But in the morning, right away in the morning, I'm not trying to have 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So I usually just do 1 scoop of Ecovision's electrolytes, which is about 350 milligrams of sodium, maybe a little bit more. It's like a rounded scoop, so around 400. Good amount of potassium in there as well. Some magnesium, some chlorides, stuff like that. So really important to hydrate yourself in the morning rather than reaching for the coffee, which I'll explain later in the day. And then also if you're doing cardio fasted that morning, you can drink that 20 to 40 minutes before you go and do the exercise. Anywhere between there won't be too much of a difference. I mean, like if you drink it 10 minutes right before, I think you might want to wait a little bit. And if you're drinking it 60 minutes before, I mean, I don't know why you'd be waiting 60 minutes after drinking, but unless your stomach doesn't feel good for that, then go ahead. And if you're not doing fasted cardio, you can either fast till you're hungry, but I usually make my breakfast after cardio, or depends. Like on Wednesdays when I don't have my workout, I'm resting that day. On a rest day, I'll do all my cardio, and I won't eat until after my classes around 12 o'clock, because I'd rather just have more food later in the day, and I'm not as hungry in the morning after like a really hard cardio session, which is kind of weird. I feel like people would be very hungry, but I think it kind of puts me a damper on it, because I also have more caffeine later, like before class and stuff too, like or during my first class. So it's not really something that I need to worry about, that me being hungry. But your first meal of the day should be nutritious and meet requirements to support mental cognition and clarity. Choline, selenium, zinc, copper, magnesium, other vitamins, etc. Like that should be a big part of your day. It doesn't, like when people say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, I'm not talking about the cereal companies that made that so you buy more cereal and eat during breakfast. I'm talking about like making sure you're properly fueling your body for the activities you need for the day, whether that's school, work, or the gym. Like eggs are a good way to start the morning. They have a good amount of choline, B vitamins, and selenium as well. They're high in, like I said before, like we said, other minerals, selenium, phosphorus, stuff like that. Anywhere between 1 and 4 every day should be fine, or every other day, whenever you want. Preferably pasture raised, as they have more vitamin D, they have more vitamin A, they have more choline, and also too, I forgot what else they have more of. I'm not sure what else pasture is. Like nutritional differences in, or like vitamin and mineral differences between conventional eggs and pasture raised eggs. Because I know it's vitamin D, vitamin A, folate is higher also as well. And there's something else too. Omega-3s. That's what it was. They're higher in omega-3s. So
significant higher levels of omega-3s, vitamins A, E, and D, and antioxidants like lutein.
Yep, lutein. That's lutein you're talking about, or lecithin.
Yep, and that as well.
Yeah, and eggs. The protein in it, albumin, is important for. I forgot what exactly. It's been a while since class, but eggs. But also being 1 to 4 seems reasonable to me. I usually never go over 3, and 3 is what I have on rest days. 2 is what I would have on training days. It's because it can be very cost ineffective to have more than that per day, because you'd be spending more money each day on food. And then also too, you might want to be looking out for the fat content. If you're someone that likes to follow a lower fat diet, these are 5 grams of fat each. So if you have 4 of them, that's 20 grams of fat. And also too, just if you're someone that needs to monitor their fat intake, maybe eggs. Maybe you switch to 1 egg and 2 egg whites. Like you have 2 servings of egg whites, or you have 2 eggs and 3 egg whites, stuff like that. Because that would be 140 calories worth of eggs and then 75 calories worth of egg whites. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And then another one would be, you can add things with each other, but keep in mind, like if you're monitoring fat intake, maybe you want to combine eggs with avocado or meat with avocado, stuff like that. Like, but going on
a nice ribeye and
butter. But lean red meat, grass fed is great, but regular is also fine too if you can't afford grass fed. It's more of like the farming practices and stuff like that is something that I feel like is better with grass fed. The meat tastes a little bit better too as well. You're not like having those cows that are just inside a farm with fluorescent lights all day. They're actually out in the field grazing and getting moving,
doing what they were meant to.
And I said it can be tricky with, like I said before, with monitoring your fat intake. So you should always have red meat in moderation when combining with other foods like eggs and avocado. And also, too, just in your overall dietary aspect throughout the day, your daily dietary aspect. Like red meat should be consumed. Like some people will say, oh, I have a pound a day and I feel fine. And hey, if you feel fine, your blood works fine by me. But I always recommend having 4 ounces of red meat would be fine a day. And if you could have maybe even 4 ounces of red meat like 5 times a week only, like that'd be great. Because I feel like people have too much saturated fat in their day, but in their daily diet. But if you're someone that eats always whole foods like us two,
Mm-hmm.
having too much red meat probably isn't something to worry about because we have overall great aspect on our overall nutrition and our daily dietary patterns. And then going on to another meat source is just any lean meat like chicken, like breast thighs or tenderloins. I also could put tuna on here too, but people don't really want tuna
Yeah,
for breakfast and stuff like that,
in the
which I
morning.
understand. It's whatever, but very high in protein. It's super lean, and like I said before, with the trace minerals that it has, like selenium, phosphorus, stuff like that, very good. And then it's also very filling because it is very high in protein and low in fat for the most part. Going on, the Greek yogurt is next, and like I said, many brands try to cash in on the trend of Greek yogurt and make really fake healthy ones that are just like high in added sugar and just have a ridiculous calorie to protein ratio. Like you might see one that it's like this is like a yogurt and it's like all healthy and might look healthy, and you look on the back and it's like 120 calories for 8 grams of protein or something like
Yeah,
that. It's like that's
nuts.
ridiculous. I always feel like the best Greek yogurt, a low to non-fat one. But if you like the fat from Greek yogurt, go ahead. You can have like a full fat one or whatever. But
Do you have brands
brands,
to let them know?
Oikos
Okay.
Zero is the best one. I feel like zero artificial sweeteners, zero fat, and I forgot what the other zero is, but
Something zero
some
sugar or something
zero
or
sugar. Yeah,
whatever.
that's what it is. Yeah,
Zero
and
added or whatever.
yeah, zero added sugar. So then that is also 90 calories for 15 grams of protein, which is nuts. Chobani Zero is also good. That one's like 60 calories for 13 grams of protein. Great Value has a light and fit. Dannon Light
Yeah.
and Fit is also another good one. That's like 80 calories for 12 grams of protein. I have the Great Value ones I always buy. They come in 4 packs. So there's 4 cups and that coming in. It's
Mm-hmm.
265. So very cost effective. And that's 80 calories for 12 grams of protein. So those are all good sources of calcium as well. So you highly recommend Greek yogurt. Fruits as well. You can pair fruits with a lean protein source. Kiwis, like I said, are the best fruit on the planet. But blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, cherries, raspberries, pineapple, cantaloupe, mangoes, apples, all those are sufficient. Apples being the most inferior since they're kind of just high in fiber, and that's about it compared to with all like the vitamins and minerals. There's really nothing vitamin or mineral excessive with apples. Everything else is mogs it in comparison to vitamins and minerals. So,
I haven't heard that word in a while.
and then going on to like a protein shake is the next one. Having 1 to 2 servings of a protein shake with fruit is still a very good way to start your morning because you're getting your protein requirements, and you can maybe add a little bit of almond butter to that shake as well to get your fats in so you can
Mm-hmm.
take your vitamins. And then also having a little bit of fruits, you're getting some vitamin C, manganese, anything else really, like magnesium might get a little bit of vitamin A from cantaloupe and mango, some antioxidants from blueberries and blackberries and raspberries and strawberries. So you're getting a lot from those, and pairing those two together would be a pretty solid morning option. And then I don't have potatoes for the morning as much, but I know some people really like potatoes in the morning, like hash
Yeah,
browns.
my
So
grandpa.
you can cut them. You can cut up potatoes in the morning and stuff like that, and wash them in cold water, and then add a little bit of oil to them and toss them in the air fryer. Or what you can do is go to Walmart and they have the bag of shredded potatoes, and it's literally just potatoes, like no
Yep.
other ingredient. And you can make like hash browns out of those. You can thaw them out and like make a hash brown out of them, put them in the air fryer, and it's pretty good. I've done that before.
Air fryer's goated also.
The air
We
fryer is
haven't
goated.
mentioned that.
And then that will be basically how to start your day. But and after that, you'll be going into your afternoon. But a little caffeine disclaimer, because caffeine is one of the most abused substances that we have today in our society, along with alcohol, along with vaping, stuff like that. But it is one of the most commonly accepted abuses as well, because I feel like people have so much caffeine in their day and they're having it way too late in the day and way too early. So caffeine should not be consumed 2 hours until 2 hours after waking, because you don't want to mess up your natural circadian rhythm, which regulates when you want to go to bed and when you wake up naturally, with high amounts of caffeine and right away in the morning. If you're gonna have any caffeine before that time, make sure you're properly hydrated with water and electrolytes. That's what you need before any caffeine. Do not have coffee. And if wherever weather and living conditions apply, try getting out in the morning every single time and get some sun for like 5 minutes. Like Just sit out there like without your phone and get some sunlight for 5 minutes and get some body exposure for some natural vitamin D. Now we're getting into October months and we're in South Dakota and Minnesota. Like this is
Yep.
just insane. We're not going to get any sun in the morning when we wake up. Like it's 7 a.m.
Unfortunate.
7 a.m. It's still dark out now. So so like we're past that time, and vitamin D should be supplemented. And then going on to what people love the most is supplements because they think it's like the quick fix for everything. But this will be all our morning supplements, and everything here should be taken after your first meal.
It looks like I take the same stuff. Oh, good thing Dr. or Luke Deerhog, I won't give him the title quite yet.
Yeah.
Is my source of
I'll have to go through that. After you said doctor, I forgot about Dr. Mike, or Mr. Mike, as people keep calling him on the internet now. But I'll talk about that later. So going on our morning supplements, all these should be taken after our first meal, because you know why?
Oh.
Do you know why they should be taken after your first meal? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Because whether it's in your multivitamin or vitamin D or A, D, E, or K, they're fat soluble, meaning you can't have those right away in the morning without a fat source in your body, along with fish oil as well. So going on to our morning supplements is a multivitamin. And here are some ones like a basic health deficiency. It's basically a blanket for your nutrition to make sure you're not getting any deficiencies. Here are some more elaborate ones like Gorilla Mode makes a really good one. HD Muscle is a really good one, or like the Vita HD or the Multi HD. Multi HD is a little bit cheaper. Ecovision also has a great multivitamin. They have a 365 serving one for $50, and it is great. So that's probably my overall best one. And then Huge Supplements also has a solid multi, but is a little more expensive. Also, too, with multivitamin, go to Target, go to Walmart, whatever. Just get the store brand multivitamin and have one or two of those a day. Like if you don't care about like getting like a I don't want to say quality multivitamin, but like if you don't feel like you need to spend more money on a multivitamin, just get like the store brand one, have one or two a day. It doesn't really matter. And then going on to vitamin D3. Vitamin D is very, very, very underutilized in our diet because it's super hard to get vitamin D in our diet, and then people don't go outside as much, and obviously during the winter months it's hard to get sun, so it's going to help hormones regulate, increase absorption of micronutrients, and reduce inflammation. There's so many things vitamin D does in our body. But if you're during the winter times, you should be supplementing this with about 5,000 IUs every single day, potentially more depending on your genetics and what your lipid panel says. And then during summer, anywhere between the 2,000 to 4,000 IUs is fine. If you're outside a shit ton, probably don't need it at all. But if you're inside working all day and then you go to the gym and it's not really that sunny out anymore during the summertime or spring, maybe 2,000 to 4,000 IUs, anywhere between there is probably fine. And then vitamin K2 or vitamin K2. Vitamin K1 is found in leafy greens and kiwis, or green kiwis, and then vitamin K2 is found in animal foods like cheese and stuff like that is a big one. Butter as well, like we said before. Bone health, dental health, and helps with absorption of vitamin D3 in your body as well. So vitamin K2 is very important because it is harder to get vitamin K2 versus vitamin K1 in our diet. So around 100 micrograms a day, 100 micrograms to 200 micrograms is probably fine. And you'll see a lot of these on here are NutriCost, because NutriCost is the cheapest third-party tested brand on Amazon, and they have deals sometimes, but they're cheap no matter what, and they're third-party tested.
I was just gonna say, I don't know how long the Prime deals are, but those are on the discount right now.
Yep. And then any omega-3 fish oil supplement, omega-3s and fish oil just have a myriad of benefits for our body. So these are just to name a few. And then there is a caveat with omega-3s. Everything on here, so the omega-3 that I have from NutriCost, the omega-3 that I have from Gorilla Mode, the omega-3 that I have from HD and Friend of the Sea as well. These are all, I believe, 2,000 or 1,000 to 2,000. I think HD Muscle, you would have to take maybe yeah. For HD muscle, you'd have to take 1 to 2 servings, depending on you want, because one serving is only about 1,200 milligrams of total EPA and
Okay.
DHA. But every one of these, you would just have to take one serving because it's about 2,000 milligrams of both of those combined, which is good. But the Kirkland one's a little different. With the Kirkland one, it is 1,000 milligrams of total fatty acid, but there's only about 300 total of EPA and DHA combined per capsule. So if you don't want to take 8 capsules a day of those, get the other ones. Like, and I put 2 to 3 servings because most people probably don't want to have 8 capsules. I just say 2 to 3, but they're bigger capsules too. So literally just get a more concentrated form like NutriCost or Friend of the Sea. Those are your best bet. But if any of these are on sale, HD or Gorilla Mode, go ahead and get them. Good sources. And then also as well is CoQ10, which is an antioxidant for cardiovascular heart health, and it can be found in organ meats for nutrition. But the pills will provide us a lot more and help us utilize the food we eat as glycogen, which is very important and helps transport glycogen into energy. NutriCost, you just get NutriCost. It's on sale right now. All you need is about 100 milligrams of that. Doctor's Best is another one that is good. That is also cheap and fast absorbing. And then Qunol as well is another popular one. You can find that at Costco as well. That is also another one that I would recommend. And then any other ones that I feel like someone might need during the day. I'm trying to think of what else. Zinc potential, not zinc. Sorry, I would put zinc at the end of the day. Sorry. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones that I would recommend. Oh, I've also forgot. I think it might be actually in this. I'm trying to see if it's down here. It is not. Wow. I have changed my stance on this. Or I added it. N-acetylcysteine, NAC, NAC. It is a precursor to the most powerful antioxidant in our liver, which is glutathione, which I recommend having NAC every single day, 600 milligrams to 1,200 milligrams every single day, because it helps with testosterone support and function. It helps with your lung health and immune health, and it is a precursor antioxidant, meaning it will have some antioxidant benefits in your body. So NAC is great for oxidative stress as well and keeping down. So if you're on, a lot of people on cycles for gear will have to supplement NAC and stuff like that. They'll also just pin glutathione, but NAC as well, along with like milk thistle. But that doesn't need to be said for the Gen Pop. That is more for bodybuilding. But those are what I would say are my essentials for the morning that I believe almost everyone should be taking. But again, none of these will work unless you work and have the right amount of diet and right lifestyle to support these. And then going on to our knockout stack, which is about 45 minutes to 60 minutes before bed. What I'll do with this is maybe I'll be laying in bed. I'll be going to bed at 11 o'clock. Like I want to fall asleep at 11. And I'm sitting in my bed at 9 o'clock. I'm on my phone with my blue light glasses on, with my red light setting on my phone. And then maybe around 9:30, 9:45, I will have my nighttime supplement stack. And then I will maybe go on my phone for another like 20 minutes or so. And then once it gets about 45 minutes before I want to fall asleep, I'll turn off the phone because I know I'll fall asleep within like 15 minutes. And like the other night, I literally fell asleep before I could even take my nighttime stack. Cause like I fell asleep at like 9:45, I believe. Like my phone was still on, and it was 11:30 when I woke up, and I'm like, shit, I need to take my supplements. So I took that, and then I went back to bed, and then but yeah. But I said, as you get closer and closer to evening, you want to start winding down your body and calm yourself down for bed. And I always prefer eating your last meal or snack around 60. I'll switch that. I wouldn't say 90. I would say 60 for some people, but 60 to 120 minutes before you get into bed. And eating closer to bedtime, meaning is your body will be using energy and heating up energy as a byproduct of digesting food, because you want your body to cool down to help the natural process of falling asleep. And digesting food will only heat things up inside your body. So you want to make sure that you're limiting your food intake before bed. Like I said tonight, or I'll give an example tonight. I'll wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow, and I'll be phone away in lights, like technically lights out, like closing my eyes around 9:30 and like 9:15, 9:30. So I will want to eat around 2 hours or more before that. So I'll probably make my Greek yogurt bowl because it is a little bit higher in fat because I do have pecans in there. And that might slow down digestion even a little bit more since it's higher fat. So, and it's a little bit higher protein as well. It's like 50 grams protein. So I will have that around 7 o'clock. And then that'll be a good amount of time before. It'll be about 2.5 hours before I want to go to bed. So I'll know for sure that won't be affecting my digestion and affecting my sleep. So that's a little example for anyone wanting to know what to do there. But this one's pretty simple. Magnesium glycinate and magnesium threonate. Magnesium threonate is one that people think that they actually get a cognitive boost from threonate because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, meaning that people might take threonate in the morning or during the day because it helps them with their energy levels. But like I said, over 300 enzymatic processes in your body helps you fall asleep and stay asleep as well. And glycinate is the most bioavailable form of in our body, or threonate. Threonate is more expensive, and like I said, it gives more of a cognitive boost than they might take in the morning, so it's up to you. But other versions like oxide, citrate, and stuff like that, they are not as bioavailable, and they actually have a laxative effect. So people have like the wrong form of magnesium, they could be on the toilet.
Yikes. Yes. I'm going to use my halftime thing to use the restroom, so keep going. I'll mute.
All right. So. And then going on to like sources, I also have here like the National Institutes of Health. I have their guidelines is there for any of these. But NutriCost, like I said, NutriCost is king. I just bought some of this actually recently. It is on sale right now, I think 30% off. So go on Amazon and do that. Now Sports, another one. Make sure you have enough in your diet. But again, sorry, I just had a like notification that was just like really, really odd. Going on to Now Sports 3-in-8, like I said, magnesium 3-in-8, you can have it. You don't have to have it. I don't have it at all. It's expensive. And then magnesium 3-in-8 for NutriCost as well. Again, 3-in-8 is a more expensive option, but go with glycinate if you feel like that is the one you need. Going on to L-theanine. L-theanine smooths out the effects of caffeine and also help wind you down at the end of the night. If you feel like caffeine has too strong of an effect for you, you can have about 100 to 200 milligrams of L-theanine with that. It could help dampen the effects of that on your system. But this could just be NutriCost. Doesn't need to be anything else. Or Now Sports, just a very cheap, concentrated form of it, which is what you need. I do this about every single night. Some people get very vivid dreams from L-theanine. So if you feel like that's an issue for you, I would stop using L-theanine. But if you don't have that issue, that's not a thing. Going on the ashwagandha, about 600 milligrams per serving. It helps reduce stress levels and calm you down before bed, reducing cortisol levels. And people used to use this back in like 2022 for testosterone. I remember that was like a huge thing. Like if you wanted to use it to boost your testosterone, like you get like a 2% boost, so negligible. NutriCost is what you would probably want to get. It's cheap. I just bought some of this. It was 50% off, so I think it was like $9 for 120 servings. So also with ashwagandha, people might think they might feel super. Oh, I never like that. I remember those TikToks that people like. I guess like something major is happening, but I took ashwagandha 3 years ago, so I'm just chill. Like stuff like that. People think it's like gonna completely change their mood. Like they're gonna become a zombie from taking ashwagandha. Like, bro, that's not what it is.
That's funny.
But NutriCost, anything really NutriCost or Doublewood. Doublewood also has magnesium glycinate. That's a little higher concentrated, so you can also do that as well. And then here's our anytime supplements. They don't need to be taken during nighttime. They can be taken specifically at certain times, like before a workout, like I said for this, or anytime supplements. So any salt-based electrolyte, like I said, before a workout or right away in the morning with 30 to 40 ounces of water. Santa Cruz Paleo, they have electrolyte.
I actually had the cherry limeade.
Yeah, I had the cherry limeade too. I've had the orange, the lemon lime, the dragon fruit, the lemonade, and then now the cherry limeade. And I think the cherry limeade's the best, or the orange is the best. But I want to try the kiwi one that he has.
Okay.
But this one has about 800 milligrams of sodium in it because he reformulated it, and about 300 milligrams of potassium. So and this is also a little smaller of a scoop. So if you were to do one scoop of this, you only need about 10 to 12 ounces of water compared to like my EcoVision one, which is next. Uh, One scoop is way bigger. It's like double the size of the Santa Cruz Paleo one because this one's more of a natural one with like natural ingredients, like no sweeteners, stuff like that, no artificial flavoring, stuff like that. But EcoVision has also like way more added ingredients that are like help with absorption and help with like coconut. They have coconut water powder, stuff like that in there. So this one is your more stacked version of electrolyte, and it's actually pretty cheap too. I think 120 scoops is like $50.
Okay,
So,
so
I only use EcoVision for the morning, so it'll last me 4 months.
perfect.
And then BSN is another popular one that I know people like. I don't use this at all, but I know people like it, so they can have it. And then
I like this.
and then the element packet, you can use a full packet or assess your tolerance or your needs to like half or a third, 3/4 of a sachet or sachet, whatever they call them. And then creatine, I think this is something that everyone should be taking, 5 to 10 grams daily. EcoVision, it's on TikTok, it's on Amazon. You can get the unflavored version or the flavored version. The flavored version does taste very good. It helps make things taste better. Nutricos, that's on sale right now, unflavored, you can get it. And then bulk subs also is another big one that people can get, and it's pretty cheap. And going on the protein powder, I always say a food first approach is the best, as it's because protein powder supplements into your diet, but this can be used to flavor things. And then protein powder, it's devoid of any vitamins and minerals besides calcium. So that's why I say the food first approach, because something like beef is going to have the B vitamins, the iron, the zinc, the copper in it, where protein powder just has the amino acids and calcium.
Mm-hmm.
Like anyone works. Like these are just some of my favorites: EcoVision, the berry cheesecake, or s'mores. Ghost, Cinnabon, Chips Ahoy, Oreo, Nutter Butter, I've all had that are great. Gorilla Mode, the birthday cake was good. Cookies and cream, I've heard, is really good. And then I've also had chocolate peanut butter, which is good, but I've heard blueberry muffins the best. Rise, Cookie Blast is great. Cosmic Brownie, they're discontinuing because of the artificial colors in the pieces, which sucks. That was generally one of the best ones. Skippy is great. Blueberry Muffin is also great. Jet Puff birthday cake is also good, and Greek yogurt. And then Little Debbie strawberry roll I haven't had, but I heard that one's pretty good. And then pre-workout. Pre-workout is not needed. I feel like it is abused, and if you're working out later than 2 o'clock, a caffeinated pre-workout is not what you need. But Ghost, their legend is 300 milligrams, and their all is 400 milligrams. I don't use Ghost anymore because I like 200 milligrams or less. But Gorilla Mode base, one scoop's about 200 milligrams, which is great. Raw Essential is my personal favorite, which is about 200 milligrams. I also stack this with their Essential Pump, which is non-caffeinated. So I do one scoop of this and then one scoop of that for an extra like half serving of pump. V1 Pre as well. V1 is, I'm also sponsored with V1. Use code DEERHOG, DERHOG, at V1 to get 10% off.
There you go.
But V1 also has great protein as well. Their cookies and cream, the cookies and cream one is gas. But V1 Pre is great. And then Rise is another one that I used to have a ton, but their loaded pre-workout is way too much caffeine. And then Godzilla kind of tastes like crap. And then their Pump Daddy 0 milligrams of caffeine, but it kind of tastes like crap. But Rise, if you really like flavors, you can go with them. I know they have a little bit lower caffeine versions now, but I've had it before. I used to like Rise, but I'm not really that big of a fan of it anymore. But hey, you do you. Then going on to optional supplements, this is something that I feel like you don't need it all, but hey, if you want to try out and see how it works for you, go ahead. Any sleep aid can help you get into your body to a more restful state, help you fall asleep quicker, help you get quality REM sleep and deep sleep, which is the most important for recovery. And then some of these ingredients overlap, so you can look out. Like Gorilla Gene, for example, it has about 200 milligrams of magnesium inside of it. So you'd only need to supplement with about 200 milligrams extra magnesium, or even not even have to supplement magnesium at all. HD Muscles Sleep Aid, Sleep HD, has 400 milligrams of magnesium, so you would not want to use magnesium with this. And then Santa Cruz Paleo Deep Sleep Caps. He had to take these off because some company owns Deep Sleep, the trademark for it, which is kind of stupid. So he had to put sleep caps or something. Like you can add 204 milligrams of magnesium glycinate to this because there is no magnesium inside of this. And then going on the nootropics to help with brain function and maybe better cognitive performance. You can just get Alpha GPC. I know Ecovision sells it just plain by itself. Alpha GPC is a nootropic that is found in a lot of pre-workouts and is found in Ghost energy drinks and at 150 milligrams, but it is usually about a 50% bioavailability. I'll say Alpha GPC 50%, which is what this is. And so if you're having like 600 milligrams, which is like 2 capsules of that, it would equal to about 300 milligrams. So it's not like you was like, oh, I want 600 milligrams, I take 1200 milligrams. It's like, no, take 1 capsule, 2 capsule. Like it's either 300 or 600. Gorilla Mind, the caffeine version, or the Gorilla Mind Smooth, which is the no caffeine version. This is just an overall cognitive support thing. So where instead of just Alpha GPC, it has a ton of different nootropics in there. This one with caffeine to maybe help with the cognitive benefits. And if you don't want the cognitive benefits from caffeine, if you're having later in the day, just have the non-caffeinated one. And you can have about 1 to 2 servings, like an hour before any mental activity to boost cognition. And then going on to an EAA powder. These are different from BCAAs, which are leucine, isoleucine, and valine. Leucine being the most important for muscle building. But if you're having any sort of protein source that's adequate enough, you don't need BCAAs. And where EAAs can come into hand is where you can have it as an intro workout to help stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And I would always actually recommend having I don't always recommend. I would say it could be smart to have an EAA powder, obviously, to a later portion of a workout. If you're going to do after workout cardio, like you have your post workout cardio, having an EAA powder before that could actually help to making sure you're having some amino acids in your body, so you're not breaking down. And then Echo EAAs are good; they're cheap. HD Muscle EAAs are good. Axe and Sledge EAAs are good. They also have a little bit of electrolytes in there and coconut powder. And then this is one that I will say is definitely not needed, because this is something that people can actually feel pretty terrible on, is yohimbine HCl. And this is the only thing that technically burns fat, but not in a calorie deficit. You don't use it right and you're not working out, it's not going to work. And what this
you can't lay in bed and take
this doesn't take away a calorie deficit and the actual work of
melt
cardio
away.
But you need to be in a low blood glucose level state to be taking this. So fasted. It has to be taken faster or it's not going to work. And this increases fat mobilization in higher energy levels because it targets the alpha-2 receptors on the fat cell, which the alpha-2 receptors will actually inhibit lipolysis. Well, I actually have it written down there. I actually know if I did that. But it inhibits lipolysis, which is the fat breakdown, which is what we're going after. So if we're inhibiting the inhibitor to go through lipolysis more efficiently. So we're lacking the inhibition of the alpha-2 receptors, meaning that we're able to go through lipolysis more and efficiently burn stubborn fat better. But this does not speed up your metabolism. That's what people say, and that's completely wrong. It's an alpha-2 receptor agonist. Where you need to do this and you need to so we're trying to like experience like greater lipolysis with this. And some people do experience very high levels of anxiety while using this. So if you feel any anxiety while using this, this supplement is not for you. This, because yohimbine, especially Wawolfia or Wawolfsine, is gram for gram even stronger than yohimbine. And I feel like, and I know Gorilla Mode sells Wawolfsine or like Wawolfia HCl, I think it is. Like, and people say even with like 1 capsule of that, they feel like shaky and stuff like that. So yohimbine is something you probably shouldn't really joke around with. Burn HD, I believe, has some yohimbine in it. If not, that's a good fat, like quote unquote fat burner. It just gets you sweating. Mm-hmm. But yohimbine doesn't get you sweating. Like I said, it helps with the alpha-2 receptors. But like I said, if you cannot tolerate this, I do not recommend this at all. Like any of these, I do not really recommend, but especially this, I do not recommend because
that can really mess up a person.
You are probably also too overweight to be using this. This is someone that wants to get really lean and use this. This isn't for someone
someone who sees the TikToks.
Yeah, this product is designed for someone that's 13, 14, 15% body fat and wants to get to like single digits.
I can't.
This isn't meant for a 30% body fat to get to 20%. Like, you could just diet.
What is that called? The L-carnitine or whatever.
Oh my gosh,
Those
that's what I
TikToks get
will.
me.
I'm gonna share my screen after this. I'm gonna look up L-carnitine.
No, because just why it got me so laughing is because I like when or the affiliates who try to sell it say,
Why
"Look
am
at
I why am I
it
swimming
brought
in
my
my old
waist."
yeah? Why am I
Yeah,
swimming in my
and
old
you're
favorite pair of jeans? They all have the same
and
thing,
you're pulling. And I seen one in joggers, and they're pulling the joggers out.
and
Like,
they're
well,
not even
no crap,
tied,
it's gonna look like it.
and they're not even tied either. Like, and like so, L-carnitine, uh, it helps. It's supposed to help like fatty acid oxidation, but what people have found out through studies and stuff like that is that oral supplementation, whether it's a capsule or the most popular one is Jay Cutler's liquid
God, I
L-carnitine,
see it
acetyl
everywhere.
L-carnitine, um, it is only about 20% bioavailable, meaning you have to take a ridiculous amount of L-carnitine to get the bioavailability of it. And there's actually implications where if you have too much L-carnitine, it can raise TMA levels into your gut at dangerously high levels, and it can actually have a counter effect on your health, meaning it's going to actually uh, just destroy your gut.
Oh my!
So carnitine, and also too, they oral supplementation of carnitine has found to have like a 2% difference in like fat loss compared to not taking it at all. So
Calorie
useless.
deficit.
So the only ever available version of L-carnitine uh, is you have to inject L-carnitine. That is the only thing, like any with the syringe and stuff like that, intramuscularly, not subcutaneously. And it is more expensive, obviously. Like about 1,000
Yeah.
milligrams, or 1 gram. 1 gram a day was probably good, or not 1 gram a day. Sorry, like 500 milligrams to a gram of injectable a day is like adequate. But there is no like upper limit of carnitine, so someone can just inject as much as they want and be fine. But like I said, this is the only form that is bioavailable. This is like 99% bioavailable or 100% bioavailable. So if you're not injecting your carnitine, it ain't doing crap for you.
It ain't doing nothing.
And then I was going to mention this earlier in the episode before we started, but I just completely forgot. And it's kind of like a big thing if you have like been somewhat into like the fitness sphere and like knowing about like what's kind of going on. And I'm going to share my
Mm-hmm.
screen to this because I think
I don't even know this
it's
personally,
very
but
interesting. So Solomon Nelson here is someone that I've been watching recently because he does a lot of like podcasts and videos with Lyle McDonald, who I've talked about before previously. And what he did was he created a video, and it is most popular video by far, basically breaking
holy
down Dr.
crap!
Mike
One
Israetel, his
one
doctoral
point two.
thesis, and basically he found a bunch of like bad things in it, grammatical errors, standard deviations in data that just like wouldn't make sense at all. Like I remember like for one of the standard deviations, it would mean that someone would have to be like negative weight, like which is just like what? It was crazy. And also too, it was just like everything about it was just like, and it's like with a PhD thesis, you're supposed to bring something groundbreaking and new into like the space, and it was literally about like literally it was like why are like our bigger people are stronger and stuff like that, and it's like no duh, the bigger person's going to be stronger and have better performance than the smaller person. So it was like the most like generic like thesis ever. It was the most like yeah, like no crap, no duh, like thesis or like study that he did, and basically just showed how big of a scam his like PhD actually is, and like appealing to authority with him being a PhD and stuff like that. And like Dr. Mike also too said like Solomon Nelson like had a draft version of it, even though that he got this from like a university database to where the only way this thing would get put on there is if it was the final product. And like Dr. Mike got his like doctorate from like the like community like our East
I just looked
Tennessee
at East
State
Tennessee.
University. I'm
Yep.
like it's like the only program in like the country that like has his exercise science PhD. So it's like
East
it's
Tennessee
a dog shit
State
school.
University.
It's a dog shit school compared to anything else. So like it's kind of like a whatever school, and like he says like he went to Michigan, which he did, but he didn't get his doctorate from there and stuff like that. So like basically he went to say that Solomon didn't even have the final version. He had a draft, and then like Milo Wolf, this guy's such a meat rider for Dr. Mike. There's Lyle McDonald calls it science-based circle jerk because it's like Milo, Milo Wolf, Mike Israetel, Brad Schoenfeld, Eric Helms. He says, if Menno Henselman is another one that he says, like all these guys just jerk each other off with what they say, and they're like, what they all go, they only like each other, and like they all think Lyle's crazy, but Lyle's actually the GOAT. But basically they said like
1.2 million
views. They said Solomon had like the he was like making like inaccurate claims against it, and like he didn't have the final version, and then like Dr. Mike and Milo made like a response video with the final version, and like they actually look at it that like East Tennessee State University like went on like somehow like Dr. Mike and Milo and like the university like made corrections to it and stuff like that. Like, and they tried saying that they didn't make corrections to it. Or like I don't even know if they admitted to making corrections to it, but like they were saying that like Solomon didn't have the final draft, and like they like doubled down on this saying he didn't. And then like they came out like a few days later. It's like, it appears that Solomon did have the final draft. I'm like, you just lied to our faces. Like, if anyone can listen to me right now, don't think Dr. Mike is good because he's funny. He is one of the worst sources of information in the fitness sphere ever. Like, he is the king of contradicting himself. Every single statement he says will contradict another statement he had in the past. His takes are outrageously bad. Like one of his saying that steroid or 1 hour more sleep per night is better than like performance enhancing drugs, which is crazy. Like you should be training more than the pro bodybuilders today, which is crazy. This writing for this, like the thing, like Lyle McDonald creates Mike Risotto's fitness advice. It's a 3 hour, 10-minute video, and this one's insane. Like they bring receipts with everything too. They have receipts for everything. So, and then like they go over like Dr. Mike's surgery when he has love handles cut off. Like Dr. Mike, he magically holds 20 pounds of water in his love handles. I'm like, no, bro, you just didn't diet all the way. But like, and then they had Greg Doucette talking about this too, like Mike Israel's career with Lyle and stuff like that. Like, I highly recommend watching any videos with Lyle on Solomon's channel. It's really funny. Like I just zoom in on this one. It's not even about Dr. Mike, and it pulls up Dr. Mike on there. But basically, he's been outed as like he doesn't like his thing was buns. I mean, like it doesn't really show. I think it's more of like a dig on like that, like universities and stuff like that allowing this to like pass and stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems a little sketchy, especially.
But I've always kind of
been doctorate.
I've always kind of been a Dr. Mike hater. I've always thought he was just constantly providing like very inaccurate information, always just trying to be funny. He can't take criticism himself and stuff like that. So if you're really looking for someone, look at that list that I provided on the optimal start of the day thing, because that's where you'll truly get the correct information and not get this bogus influencer style information that you'll see a lot of in the industry today, because the fitness industry is genuinely a joke. You can't really take anything seriously. A lot of it's BS, and the content that is BS actually gets more views than the stuff that's not. Because most of the stuff that works, whether it's weightlifting, nutrition, or sleep, or whatever, all those three, whatever works is not pretty. Like, people think that you need to do an elaborate amount of lifting and like weights and like drop sets and stuff like that to grow muscle. Bro, you can do 1 set a week and grow, or 2 sets a week and grow a muscle.
I saw someone at my gym this morning. I had to work out in the morning, and they're doing biceps, and they went from cable curls to preacher curls to incline curls in one like mega set.
And it's funny because like obviously I never go up to someone, but like I would literally just ask them like, what do these different exercises target differently? And it's like,
Yeah, exactly,
Nothing.
because it's the
They
same
just target
thing.
they just target the biceps break eye. It's a curl. You have a supinated curl. That's all you're doing, and you're
Yeah.
targeting the biceps break eye. Because in a supinated position, your biceps break eye are going to be the most active elbow flexor. Besides, and it won't be the brachioradialis, and it won't be the brachialis. So it's going to be the biceps break eye, and that's what you're training. Like in a preacher curl, any of those curls. Like the only way you can bias the
Differentiate it. Yeah.
brachioradialis is having a preacher curl and having instead of a supinated grip, you have a pronated grip, and you do like a curl like that, and it's on a descending resistance profile. That's how you can target the brachioradialis, like on most of the elbow flexors or elbow flexors. But no, like I hate stuff like that. It's like the redundancy of that. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you? Literally, you only need 2 biceps exercise. You need a preacher curl and probably a hammer curl, or like a hammer curl or a reverse curl. That's all you need. Like, and hammer curl could be like I did hammer curls the other day. Instead of doing on dumbbell, I had cuffs on each of the Y cable machines where you can like move the arms. I had them lower, and it was almost a Bayesian curl. Bayesian curl is one you can do instead of like Bayesian curl is the other one that's like technically superior. Bayesian curl and preacher curls are. They're technically like the best ones for like the biceps break guy. But I just did like a Bayesian curl, but it was like a hammer curl with like cuffs that I had around my. They weren't my cuffs that I have for like straps, the strap and cuff ones that I
think I know what you mean.
But it was just a cuff. It didn't have like straps or back or anything like that. But I literally just had them hooked on to like my hands, and I just did them like that. And like that's how I did my bicep curl. That's how I did my hammer curl. So like you could literally just do it with one cable and have the rope and stuff like that and do it like that. And holy crap, Siri popped up on my phone.
That's how you know the government is watching us.
Yeah, they're listening.
They're trying to shut us down.
They want us to eat raw sticks of butter.
God, that's so funny. Carnivore diet. Oh my.
Is there any I know this wasn't planned at all, but like I kind of want to keep talking about this. Like, what is some like tomfoolery type stuff that you've seen in the gym recently? Like, you obviously don't have the same names or anything like that. I mean, I don't know people's names. I'm just gonna say what I've seen in the gym, but you can go.
No, my funniest thing is definitely the L-carnitine on TikTok shop.
Yeah.
Just because of the joggers.
Yeah,
where they pull
that's
it,
like level 100 scamming right there. Like what I've seen, like some things I've seen in the gym this week are like I posted a TikTok on this, and it's whenever I see someone in the gym, I saw this recently to where if I'm using like I don't really use the leg press too much at all, like unless something's taken. But like this was like at the beginning. This is like a couple weeks ago. I was using leg press. I had 5 plates on, I believe, on each side, 545s on each side, and I get good depth to where I'm getting adequate knee flexion, and I'm not getting too deep to where adductors and glutes are taking it over. So it's obviously quad biased, and then you're getting full knee flexion, and then you're going full reps, full range of motion. And the guy says, I took off 145 on one side, and he's like, "Oh, you just leave that one off, and that's fine. Like, like you can leave the rest on." And I'm like, "Okay." And he like did like a little warm up. I'm like, I didn't see what he was doing for like warming up or whatever. And then I saw he had like 8 plates on each side, or like 7 plates on each side, more than me. I'm like, okay. And this guy like is probably in his like 30s or 40s, and I'm like, okay, we'll see. We'll see. I'm already skeptical right away because you're doing more weight than me. Not that I'm stronger than anyone else. Like, look at my physique. But it was crazy because I'm like, okay, this guy isn't stronger than me at least. And I see, and the first rep I see is a literal quarter of a range of motion rep, and I just smiled and walked away. Like after I was like, because I was like by the drinking fountain, I'm like, that's all I need to know, because I know you're lost at that point, because it's crazy because the leg press is one of the most prime examples of this. People just don't do the adequate range of motion. Like if you're training your damn quads, why are you going a quarter of the rep in? You don't go, That's like ridiculous. Like you're not getting, like, you're just cheating yourself out. And it's like, you think you're doing a shit ton of weight, and it's like, yeah, you can't go down all the way because that's too damn heavy. And then you don't do a full rep. Like you probably need to reduce it by like 300 pounds.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh gosh, no.
Or I'll see someone do some insane stuff like this. Like they'll be hopping from machine to
Oh
machine to
my, I was
machine
just
to
gonna say
machine. I'm
that.
like, and then like they might be using like I might go on the machine. It's like, oh, I'm still on that. I'm like, bro, what other machines are you using? You're on three other
Exactly.
ones. Like and it's like
Speaking of that,
it
that's a
does.
funny
I
I
don't
got.
I don't want to tell people how to work and what exactly their split should be. But seriously, if you're doing like I shouldn't if I go on the same days as you should be doing the same exact lifts the same days I'm there. And when I'm doing my second when I'm doing legs on my Tuesdays every single day, the same people are there at the same time that I go should be doing the same exact lifts that they're
Right?
doing. So no matter what, every single machine that I use should be available to me because I know that exact same day in that exact same time that they're not doing the same lifts that I'm doing. But then there's some random person take like the other week I
Yeah.
wasn't able to do hack squat because like some random guy just decided to do hack squats that day, and then he does do like a bicep exercise after. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, like I know you're probably trying to train. I don't know if you're trying to train full body, but you're not even doing it correctly. Like I like
No.
not to say that someone's doing it correctly or not, but and they don't have to like. I'm not trying to say that I'm better than one other person, but to say that I'm more knowledgeable than other people,
Than
yes, I
most
can
people,
say
yeah.
that. But I don't want to say that like one way is best or one way is better than other. Like if you enjoy working out like a certain way, do that. That's going to keep you going to the gym. But it kind of gets to a point where I get so frustrated. I'm like, you're literally just wasting your time and you're wasting other people's time because
Mm-hmm.
with what you're doing is so like ridiculous that it doesn't even fall under like a hypertrophy thing. And so you like that's another thing too. The other rant that I've done this before. I think I made it like a photo TikTok meme of it. It's like me when I arrive at the gym and see all like the moms or whatever pay for their glorified cardio session. Like if you're paying for
Yep.
personal training, pay for one that actually knows what the heck they're doing and doesn't have you running some circuit of exercises that has you burnt out drastically from your cardio. Like you you shouldn't be failing an exercise because you're out of breath. You should be failing the exercise because the muscle that you're training couldn't complete the reps anymore.
Yeah, right.
Like how many
It
times do you
physically couldn't go
yeah,
anymore.
like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why 100% of the time, I honestly think an online coach you hire per month is 1,000% better than hiring an in-person trainer because an online coach can take care of your nutrition and your diet plan and give you an adequate training program. And as well, you can send them videos of your form to make sure you're doing it correctly. And they can do all the programming for you, all your cardio stuff like that, all of your nutrition. So you don't have to worry about it all. All you can do is look on your damn phone and be like, oh, this is what coach has me doing. This has me doing still. So I'm
Yep.
going to follow coach's plan. Like that's why I always say,
And it's also weird
just
too.
just get a coach. Just get a coach. I know some coaches are really bad online and stuff like that. So I mean,
Just check the reviews probably, I guess, is the best you can do.
and like
Best advice,
I'm
I'd say.
I'm too young to offer coaching for paying. Like I would, like I was, like I said, like I'm working with Owen and stuff like that. He's a
Mm-hmm.
track runner at St. John's University, and I have a plan that
Shout
I wrote
out.
out for him. But he's taking care of his own training. But I would literally never charge someone probably until I get my registered dietitian, until I become a
Yeah.
registered dietitian, because I would rather get the rapport from free service so people know that I'm changing lives and stuff like that. Because for sure next summer I want to at least take a couple people that either I want one that wants to lose weight, I want one that needs to gain weight, and I want one that needs to have a maintain or like a body composition or like a
Yeah.
change in body composition to where maybe there's the same weight but even more muscular stuff like that. I want to have 3 separate ones so I have different things, and then once I read and study more with women's nutrition and fitness, I want to work with at least will probably be my mother, but or my grandmother, but I want to work with a woman, training, nutrition, obviously medication would be a thing and hormones and stuff like that because that plays a huge
Mm-hmm.
role with women. But or if it's or even if it's someone around my age, someone from like I don't know our grade from hometown or something like that, or someone from here that wants help. Like I would next step would be helping a female and stuff like that for free.
Yeah.
And then another
That'd
one,
be super.
and another one would probably be helping someone that is maybe specializing in like someone that might have an eating disorder or something like that too, because I'd rather just give as much free experience in
Or
all different types of
suffering from
realm.
something.
So where I'm not like, I know I have the confidence to charge people money for the services, and not to say it would be expensive right away too. Like literally, it might be like $100 a month, or like $80 a month right away. Because
Mm-hmm.
like high-end coaches, $300-$400. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
what's more important? Like your health. I mean, like just by paying amount of money doesn't mean that you're going to stick to a plan. Like that's why I always say like choosing a coach that you know you can stick with and follow their plan correctly
Yeah,
and
someone you
and
can like
trust
connect with almost. Yeah.
and connect with
It's
is more important.
100%.
Not to sell my coaching and stuff like that because I don't coach,
Right.
but
It's
if you do need any help
pre-order.
though, if you do need any help though, please DM me and I will do something for you for free because
And
I do
yeah,
like
you can
helping
also
people.
get in contact with me and I can get your information over to there. It's just speaking to
Hmm.
the Winona crew.
Yeah, I could, like I said, like I'm gonna become a registered dietitian here, and like about like 3 years is my plan. And like nutrition is a huge thing, training is a huge thing, and just understanding how certain functions in the body work. Like I need experience, so experience is good for me.
Yeah. Well,
And
there's
then
a bonus section.
yeah, and then now that was a little bonus section, and then to end off, like I said, we're gonna be going through my Letterboxd profile, which is something
This is
that
gonna be interesting.
I
I need some
have
movies.
been curating ever since fall of senior year. So fall 2022 is when I first started using the app. I got it in summer, but I didn't use it. I just kind of had the app and then I started using it more. And this is when I really fell back into the love of movies because when I was younger, I always loved movies, collected them like DVDs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of fell off a little bit during high school, but I always went to the movies still. But now I've just gotten really back in the movies over the last 3 years, and it's probably one of my favorite things in my life, honestly. But and this and
Let's
that
take.
movies and Letterboxd. But so Letterboxd is an app where it's like social media to where you can follow people and you can have people have reviews written for movies and stuff like that. And if you have the Patreon version, which I do, I think it's like $50 a year. You can switch posters to custom posters, and then you can switch
Ooh.
backdrops, things like that. So lots of things. It's almost like it's not social media, but it is kind of social media because you can see people's reviews. But here's my profile. Not all of these are films. There might be some short films, some TV episodes. I know some Tom and Jerry episodes are on here that are like 5-6 minutes long. But on here, 1900 films. I probably see there's probably about 200 or 300 of those that aren't movies. Or there's probably about 300-400 of those that aren't movies. They're probably like
Good
TV
breakdown.
specials, stuff like that. But I think honestly, it might be able to. No, it doesn't do that. Okay. But 1900s on here. That's pretty crazy. I'm 21 years old and I've seen a crap ton of movies. So far, I've seen 276 this year as October 7th, starting in January 1st. This last month has been really slow. I was averaging like 1.2 movies a day and stuff like that. But I think now it's down to one. Just with school, I don't have as much time and like other
Yeah.
things I've been more like involved in at school. So haven't had as much time to watch movies. But I still love movies. And then you kind of
Oh
go like this,
yeah.
like your favorite films, like your favorite four. They could be like your favorite four movies, or like for me, I have a theme usually with mine. Like what it used to be all the time was it was my favorite four was always my favorite first ever watches of movies the month prior. So like if it was my favorite four like first watches of last month, which would be September, like it would be like my
Mm-hmm.
highest rated four like first ever time watching that movie would be like on my top four. But I just have random fall/spooky vibes. It's like kind of my thing. So like Halloween, obviously, and with like Michael Myers,
Yeah.
the Shape, just standing right there looking
Love it.
menacing. The Shining, which is my favorite horror movie of all time. Actually, I don't know, it could be the thing now. Prisoners, another kind of like a fallish type of thriller vibe, and then of course the Batman too, of course, being set on
Okay, that's. I
Halloween.
was just gonna ask you. I was like,
That's a custom poster. Like I could
yeah.
show this. Like
I was like,
if you didn't have the Patreon, you can only
oh
have
my
this you
gosh,
can only have this default poster, and you couldn't change it at all. To where the
those
Patreon
are
you can have like
insane.
different posters and stuff like that, and that's just popular ones. Like there's different ones like that and stuff like that. So
Holy
there's a
crap.
lot of ones that have really cool posters, and then like I can even go on here. Like I like theatrical posters a lot, to where it shows like the text on there and like the
Mm-hmm.
actor, like the list of actors. And there's some custom ones that are cool. Like this one right here for Halloween, I have the 4K Screen Factory Blu-ray of this, and then this is the like the sleeve that it comes out of. Like this is what it looks like. This is the exact cover of it. But I like
Gotcha.
the theatrical poster. Um, and then like recent activity is what you've watched recently. So The Vanishing was something I watched. The second Lessons of Darkness was another recent watch. The Blob from 1958. I've only seen the remake prior to that, so watched that recently. And then Dead Ringers is what I watched last night.
The Blob.
Um, then you can have some pin reviews, which Ben Hur is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have that one pinned. Nosferatu, when I watched that, I had that one pinned.
Yeah,
And
you really
then
like that one.
and then also going on to like films. So with films on here, it shows you from like release date to like newest to latest. And like you can see on here, like this is like a limited series, like 3 episodes. So like stuff like that can be put on here. But I'm gonna go on here, kind of show you my favorite movies of all time. And this goes by popularity. I don't know by how it goes, but I believe all these are my 5 stars. And I'm pretty sure the next page is okay. There are some 5 stars on the next page. Okay, but these are all my 5 stars. Some of them that probably you haven't seen. Like Up is a 5 star for me. Most recent addition is One Battle After Another from this year. The Departed is another one. Some Like It Hot. Like I'm a big. I think my highest rated years in film is the 70s, and the next is
wow.
like the 60s, I believe. So I'm an old school guy. Like Aviation Body Snatchers, like Top Gun Maverick's on here. You know, Society is another one that people haven't seen. A lot of things that people know and love that I know and love for a while. But a lot of ones that I've liked when I was younger, and there's some that I've
Sinners, yeah.
seen. There's some that I've seen since I've started my Letterboxd journey to where I've just grown in love so much. I'm a big James Dean guy, as you can see right here.
Super or Star
Star
Wars.
Wars, Attack of the Clones, I think is the best prequel over Revenge of the Sith. I know it's by a hot take. I know people hate Attack of the Clones, and even looking at it too, I'll click on it. It's got a 3.0 average, and I have it at a 5 star. Like look at it has 334,000 3 stars, and it has 170,000 2 stars, and it has 120,000 5 stars. Like 9% of the ratings are 5 stars, and 24% are 3 stars. Like look at my friends too, like 3 star, 4.5, 2.5, 4, 3. Like it's all over the board. It's crazy. But I love too because you can change the backdrops. I'll show like the backdrops for each movie. Like you can choose like that one, Anakin pod racing after he realizes his mother's gone. He's trying to reach her, and then them kissing, obviously like that. This is when they get the Camino and stuff like that. Obi-Wan Kenobi when he sees that. Always I like this one with all
red
the clone
lightsaber.
Troopers. I like this one with all the clones.
Yeah,
in.
That's a cool one.
That's pretty. I always like this one too. It's pretty dope. But I always like them getting married on that, on like the sunset there.
That's a.
But going through here, like I said, I'm a huge Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 are the greatest superhero movies of all time, and I believe that Spider-Man 3 is significantly better than any MCU movie, including Infinity War and I'm trying to think of what other popular, like Winter Soldier. I think it's way better than like. Though no MCU movie is a 5 star.
Civil War, I know.
Civil War is better than like the highest MCU movie I have is like I think it's like 3, 4.5, or like 4.5 star. I think it's like Spider-Man, Civil War, Infinity War, and I think that might be my only 4.5. No, I think Captain America: Winter Soldier might be a 4.5. Or
that's a great one. But I think that one just gets so high because of the story.
Mm-hmm. It is a grounded thriller and stuff like that, which I kind of like. Big Jake Gyllenhaal guy used to be a lot. He's kind of had some stinkers recently, but like I said, like I'm really big in the old movies. Invisible Man 1933 is a 5 star for me. Love that. Old Hitchcock from the 50s. Sergio Leone from that's Quentin Tarantino is one of his favorite directors of all time. Like I said, just love a lot of older movies. The Holdovers came out recently, 2023, which is one of my favorites, 5 star. Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite zombie movies. Black Christmas, great. Invented the slasher movie. Great Christmas horror movie. Oppenheimer, of course, Chinatown, stuff like that. There's Goats, Spider-Man's here, and then
Rocky, I see.
Yeah, Rocky was always been one that I've always liked since I was younger. And then
Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws.
I saw you must have rewatched that recently or something, and my mind went to Sharknado. And I was like, why did he give that a 5 star?
Yeah, Jaws I saw in IMAX, a re-release. I came back like the first week of school, and
Yeah.
I went back home because I wasn't playing in IMAX. But like I said before, I want to go over some horror movies since because it is spooky season and we do have people that might
Spooky.
want to watch some horror movies. Some of the Letterboxd loves listing some of these as horror, and some of them aren't. Like Dress to Kill is not a horror movie; it's more of a psychological thriller. Brian De Palma, master behind the camera, one of my favorite directors. But some great horror movies, I would say. This is more of a thriller, but it is a horror movie. Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978. Highly recommend it. Very, very good movie about paranoia and people around you being susceptible and stuff like that. It's about like these pods that like are pods, like plants that like are able to take over and like duplicate and replicate the human
Oh wow.
without any emotion. Like they have no emotion at all, and like pretty soon the entire like town gets like it's. I don't want to spoil it, but it's so good. Tales from the Hood is one that people haven't heard of. It's a horror anthology. And it really goes over like uh, stories from black societies and stuff like that, and like the perspective of the Black American throughout history. And it's pretty interesting. And Spike Lee produced it. So very very interesting. Sinners, of course, that came out this year. The Fly is more body horror. Halloween is a
Yeah.
classic, like I said, one of the first ever slashers. But Black Christmas down here
Okay.
came out 4 years prior as a Canadian horror film that created the slasher genre, and it is literally one of the best films I honestly think of all time. And it's one of my favorites. I watch it every Christmas or every holiday season. Save this one for Halloween. Nope, I saw this in theaters when it came out, and it was one of the most life changing experiences ever. I watch it about every single year. I think the last time I watched it was last school year with a bunch of friends. So that one's always great. Of course, Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time. I watched that when I was younger. The Shining, I used to be my favorite movie of all time until I kind of stopped having a favorite movie. It's fine. It's not my favorite movie of all time. If I had to say my favorite movie of all time is probably Spider-Man 1, or if I had to say it's probably The Thing is another one I would say, or I'd probably say The Lighthouse too is probably up there as well. The Lighthouse starring Robert Pattinson and
Oh.
Willem Dafoe. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. I've seen it 4 times since I've gotten Letterboxd. I saw it in 2019 when it came out. Saw it in 2020 when it got put on Blu-ray, and then have loved it ever since. Midsummer. This is one of my most watched movies on Letterboxd. At 8 watches since in the last 2.5 years or whatever, 3 years. Another one that came out this year, 28 years later. Great. American Psycho is not so much a horror movie, but great. Wreck is a great found footage horror that is quick in about 77 minutes. One of the scariest movies I've ever seen. And if you have a chance to watch this movie, highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is so good. The classic Wolfman from 1941. Yep, that 1941. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a great campy B movie. Candyman is one of the greatest horror movies with the greatest scores of a horror movie of all time in the 90s. Highly recommend it. And the Substance that came out last year is a great body horror movie. If you can't handle grossness, you probably would throw up during this movie. And any of the Halloween movies are pretty fun, but the first two are good. The third one I think is really good, and people hate it. Anything after that's pretty dog shit. Alien Covenant people hate, but I love. Thanksgiving from 2 years ago is awesome. I think Thanksgiving should be watched every Thanksgiving. Old is great. M. Night Shyamalan people hate. Same thing with Not Gonna Happen. People think he's awful. My Bloody Valentine's one of my favorite slashers from the 80s. The Blob, like I said, I just watched the original version that came out in 58. The remake slaps from 1988. Christine is about a killer car that Stephen King wrote the book. Great movie, though. One of my favorites. Like a classic Scream, of course, I would say. And then to kind of like give like a final one that I would say is pretty obscure that I don't think people have seen too much, because I do watch a lot of terrible ones too, but like I like old ones. I know this one's a really popular one. Sinister is probably one of the scariest ones.
Yeah,
But
I've watched that.
if I have to give one that I want people to watch and really enjoy, is I know it's not in English, but I truly think Rec or Record. It's about it's video in like the POV of like a television reporter and the cameraman, like, and they get to this they get into like they're following uh like they follow like the night of like what like a firefighter would do and stuff like that, and they get a call to like this apartment complex, and like they go in there because they're following them, and like then they get completely locked in by like government people, and like you're wondering what's happening because like there's this infection and stuff like that, and it's like super scary. It's like zombies type thing, but like super scary. The second one's also pretty decent. I think I have it a 3.5, but that one gets into like super big religious tones, and like it's crazy, like the ending of that movie. But ending with this movie is also crazy. But it's on Tubi for free, so if you want to watch that, highly recommend it. And then if I had to give one other option, that's also a great horror movie that I feel like people will love. Honestly, Nope is really good. Also say Alien is also a great sci-fi horror. But if I had to give one other one, I would probably have to say The Thing. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is on Peacock, but you can probably just look up online like The Thing freeform movie. You can probably find like a website on there. Best practical effects ever in a movie. Biggest story, like best use of tension and paranoia between a group of people, isolation in Antarctica. I would actually probably consider this my favorite horror movie and probably my favorite movie of all time. I know I said Spider-Man 1, but The Thing, when I watched this genuinely changed my perspective of what I thought a movie could be and what movies could do. So The Thing, I highly recommend watching. Please watch it. It genuinely is one of the greatest movies of all time. And that will do it for episode 5 of the Optimal Nutrition Podcast plus movies. But we will see you guys next week. I don't know what we have planned next week, but of course, we'll always bring the heat. We'll always bring the fun. 2 weeks in a row, we had some smaller episodes here, but hey, that keeps some time for us to come up with some ideas and maybe have a 2-hour episode next week. So we'll see you guys next week, and love you guys all, and hope you guys have a good start to your weekend.
So yeah.